Hello and welcome back, and it's time for another fix kind of job. Last time we were away, which was not too long ago, we were at Twitter Camp down in Moreton-in-Marsh, and we got there nice and early and we were ready to set up. We started to set up. I filled the aqua roll up with water and then came inside the van and I went to turn the pump on and nothing happened. We can hear me over the rain as usual when I'm up at the storage. It's raining. So anyway, nothing happened when I turned the pump on, so I checked all the fuses in the consumer unit, everything was okay, and then I checked the power to the pump to make sure there was power going to the pump, and everything was fine on that side. So that drew me to the conclusion that it was the pump that had actually gone. Now if you remember, or if you didn't remember, I'll put a link up here. Last year I stripped my pump down and re-cleaned it, and I had been complaining about the noise it's been making, so it had finally given way. So we're down there at Moreton Marsh, and I was ready for packing up and coming home because I couldn't see on a bank holiday weekend where I was going to get a pump from. So while I was pacing up and down and getting quite frustrated, Phil from Lostweekends, who was also there, came over and suggested that he would phone round and try to find us a pump. Now he spoke to a caravan dealer not far away called Broad Lane Leisure, and then I spoke to them to explain what the issue was, and obviously it was an onboard pump and they had a pump. They were really helpful. Phil took Angela up there to get the new pump. We got a Caravan Motorhome Club discount of 10%, so the pump was came in about £112. So what I'm going to do today is, I did actually change the pump at the time, but in my haste of getting it done quickly, I didn't quite fit it how I would like to fit it. It was fitted okay and it worked, but what I'm going to do is actually, I've got the pump out, I'm going to just show you how to change the pump. So here we have the two pumps side by side. This is the old pump that had actually failed. What was happening, it was coming on but it was getting rather warm and it just wasn't working. I am going to strip this down and maybe do something when I do that, strip this down and just have a look inside. And this is the connection. As you can see, this is the new pump, Water Master pump. Slightly different design in terms it looks a bit more sleeker than the old one, and also that came on this was a filter as well that you fit onto the side of the pump, just filters all bits and bobs that could be inside the water. It's the same connection, so there's no messing about with that. It's exactly the same fitting, it just fits on. It does look slightly bigger, but it is actually lighter in the weight. As you can see on the front there, it's got the whale, and it's also got a flow direction, so you know which way to put the pump. It had it on the old one, but it was slightly smaller there. So let's get that put back in. So I'm not just taking the pump out and putting it back in for the fun of it. I actually forgot, or again, as I said, I was rushing. I didn't put the surge damper back in place. What this does, it actually helps the flow of the water and stops any juddering in the pipes, and also helps it run a little bit smoother, and I didn't put that back on, so that's part of the job today, is put that back on. And as I'll show you in a second, I did slightly change the pipe work underneath the bench in order to change something that I shall show you in a second. So this is the area that we're working in, and it's the front of the caravan on the off side where the pump is situated. This is the water inlet that comes in from your aqua roll, and this is the one that goes into the alder heating and into the water system. As you can see on the bottom here, I did this last year to try and deaden the sound. It's just a mat, door mat that I've cut a section off. I've put a felt piece on the bottom here, and then put this bit of doormat, and the actual pump sits on top of there, and it does make it a little bit quieter. So if you've got a Unicorn Series 1, you'll know that there is a separate tank that sits over on that side over there. I've actually taken that out because it's not something that we're going to use, and this is the main inlet pipe. Obviously I just need to trim this pipe down in order to make that not stick out as far, but I'll do it in a second. This is the piece that I took off where the surge damper fits. All these pipes are push fit, so they're very easy to put together. So we'll just put this back into place. as you can hear there, you just push it in and it locks into place. The surge damper just fits on the top again, that just pushes in. To get these push fits out, if you push it in, hold this collar down, I don't know if you can see that, and then pull it out. That's how they fit in, but you can see that's quite easily fitted in. So here's the new pump, and you can see it's got a bracket on the back here to wall mount it. Obviously where ours is situated, it's not going to be mounted anywhere, it's just going to sit on the floor. On the bottom of the pump, it's got these like shockers that on each corner that you're going to put screws into, and that's where the pump is going to sit there. Obviously checking the flow, you can see the flow direction. It comes in this and through the filter and into the surge damper and then back into the other side. So first of all, I'm going to connect it into the Caravan, into the surge damper. Again, I've not mounted the pump yet, so I'm just going to push that in, and you can see that's fitted in quite well. Now the surge damper had this foam piece that fits on. It was in the on the old pump, and it's slightly a different size, but there is a little bit of manoeuvrability on this, so I'm just going to slide that over there, because it's important that the surge damper is in an upright position. So that just fits over there, and that's going to hold that in place. The next bit is just move that wire out of the way. The next bit is the water inlet. Now I found when I did it the other week that is too high, so what I'm going to do is going to trim this pipe down to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to use this pipe trimming tool, which I use at home for when I'm doing any pipe work. It gives it a nice clean cut. I just put the pipe in the end there. I think that'll be enough. And that just ensures that it's got a really nice cut. That's just going to fit into the top of there. You can hear that that's fitted in and it's solid. Just going to check that the filter's in there. Before I plug it in, I'm going to actually screw it to the floor. Now the way it's mounted is I've got some screws with some washers which just fit inside the holes on each corner. So we're just going to go and put those in. Just need to be careful that we don't over tighten these, because we don't want to start making it too tight. That's enough for that one. There's one corner, which is not a problem to do. I'm not over tightening them, it's just to locate the pump. It's not to hold it in place as such. I mean, it does hold it in place, but we don't want to tighten them up too much. So we can see the pumps back in place, nice and secure. You can see I've got the surge damper on this time, which I didn't have. To be fair, it was quiet, but it could have been a little bit quieter. And the last thing we need to do is just plug the connection in. And all that does, as I said before, it's the same fitting, and it just pushes in and locks into place. So that's the new pump back in place, fitted. I know it works, but with this new pump you can run dry in order it doesn't damage the pump. So I am going to just switch the actual master on, and then just turn the pump on, and I can hear that that's working, so I know that the pump's going to be fine. So there you go, changing over a pump. It's quite easy to do. Again, the idea of these videos is to show you that you can do the jobs yourself. You don't have to go out and get a mechanic in and spend loads of money having these jobs done when they're very easy to do yourself. Just like to say a big thank you to Phil from Lostweekends, who actually took Angela to get the pump and sourced the pump for us. Broad Lane Leisure, which were absolutely fantastic and very helpful. So this is no way a how-to video, this is just me obviously just changing over the pump. Hope it's been helpful to some people. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.